I'm Turk Strongman. The horror. This is an all true story. Off the cuff. Improvised. No script. This is about the horror of how some people who are filthy rich treat other people. In what is it? What year? 1986. I was a doorman. Evening doorman at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in New York City on Central Park South. That's 59th Street. Along the southern edge of Central Park. The year before that, I was breakfast room service order taker. Now, to prove it to you, I'm going to talk about some of the clientele at the hotel. Right? To prove to you that this is the truth, it ain't no lie. It is the truth. Here's a pay stub. Mine. The Ritz-Carlton Hotel, New York City, right? There's my real name in there. You don't need to know about that, right? But you see, this is a pay stub. Union wage, pay stub. I made a lot of tips. I made over $80,000 a year as the doorman in tips. Tax-free. All right. But that, at this point in the story, is not exactly the point of the story. But I want to show you something. Now, you see, New York City, Paris, and a few other places in the world are service-oriented cities. A good doorman, a good food server, these people can make enormous amounts of money because of the kind of service they give. I went into plenty of restaurants in New York City. I lived there for a decade. Back then, from the late 70s to the late 80s. Before I went in the Navy. United States Navy. Plenty of restaurants. Let's say the Wohop at 17 Mott Street. And its correlative address, 19 Mott Street, Chinatown. You know, you sit down, place is humming with business. Tight little dining room. Downstairs, under the ground level, in a dive. You have to go down steps from the sidewalk to get into it. You know, the service there is so fast. So fast, it's like lightning speed. And it's done with ease. It's done with comfort. These guys make a lot of money. It's not just the quality of the food, it's the quality of the service. And they act like it's not. It's just what they do. At the Ritz-Carlton, a place like the Ritz-Carlton in New York City is service-oriented. Now, in this little shit town I live in now, in Pennsylvania, it's hard to get good service. It's hard to get anything that comes close to good service. You know, you walk into a convenience store, and if there are two clerks standing there and there are no other customers, and those two clerks are having a little conversation, you know, one girl telling the other girl about how her boyfriend doesn't screw her right, you know, they'll wait until that conversation's done before they even look at you. If they even look at you, either one of them. They might just stand there and look in your direction and wait for you to say something. Like, here, could I just have a pack of whatever? You know, Pall Mall short blue cigarettes, something like that. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. You go into a little restaurant, you know, there might not be anybody else in there. 3 waitresses standing around. And they'll finish what they're doing before they come to you. You know, it might take you 5 minutes to get a glass of water. It's pathetic. In a place like New York City, even at its worst, is far better than that. But a place like the Ritz-Carlton, they make me wonder how the hell places like around here where I live in this little shithouse place, you know, how they screw up hiring people. They claim they can't find good employees. They put an ad in the paper. We're looking for innovative, you know, people were looking for the best, whatever, and 10 people could go apply, 5 of whom will be really great, but they'll hire the wrong one. They'll hire the worst one, the one who gives the worst service. It happens time and time again. I've seen it so many times in my life. But a place like the Ritz-Carlton, they don't hire the wrong people. They know who to hire. They don't have to fire people because they're giving bad service. I never saw it happen my whole time there. I was one of the people they hired, and I was good. I was good as a room service order taker. I was good as a nighttime bellman. I was great as a daytime bellman, and I was selected to be out at the evening doorman, prime time doorman, prime days, Wednesday through Sunday. Because I was good. I treated, like everybody in the hotel, treated everybody, every guest, no matter what, like royalty. And if outside in a snowstorm, as a doorman, thank you dear, here's my coffee. If I had 20 or 30 people waiting for service, and I'm the only one out there, there's only one doorman at a time, there's only one revolving door in front of the Ritz-Carlton. Go see for yourself. One doorman, one revolving door. All right? There might be 15 or 20 people lined up waiting for a cab. 5 people lined up waiting for a limousine. 3 people arriving in limousines, taxis, or privately owned vehicles. 2 people wanting to check out. And another one just wanting to know how to get to the show Cats. And another one wanting to know where the Hard Rock Cafe is. Hard Rock Cafe. 3 bums trying to get in the door. And so forth. And I get to them all. Make them all feel like they're getting treated first. With ease. Luggage to carry in. And so forth. How about this for a trick? Service. My point is, right away, I'm going to tell you right now, all of this is worth money to people. And anybody who visits New York City and gets treated like that and forgets, hey, this is worth money. This is a service-oriented city, and this is where you tip for shit like that. Anybody who goes there and forgets is a fucking fool. A place like New York City doesn't let you forget that. Tipping happens left and right. Money's flying all over the place when it comes to tipping. All right. So there should be nobody who has any excuse. Maybe one time. But then they're going to get reminded of it somehow. And for those who kind of forgot for a second, we had our ways. I'll let you know one of them here in a moment. But this stuff is worth money. Let me give you an example. But yeah, I showed you my pay stub. Yes, I worked at the Ritz-Carlton. I was the doorman. You want to see that I was the doorman? Look at this. My position was written right on here. See that word? Where is it? Where is it? Just under my fingers. Door. I'm not making this shit up. All right. What was my example? What was I going to say? I don't remember. Something about money. Shit. Well, I'll get to it. All right. Oh, yeah. Let's say somebody is pulling in a limousine. Long trip from the JFK airport. Hour and a half, hour and 3/4. They finally get there, right? They're supposed to have a business meeting in their room. They expect to have checked in by now. But, traffic. All right, crosstown traffic. You got stuck in crosstown traffic. The last half a mile of the whole trek, right? You're stuck in crosstown traffic. Another half hour goes by, and the person they're supposed to have a meeting with up in their room is arriving at the same time the guest is. All right. I, the doorman, have already, when I came on duty, checked, looked through. I had the front desk person, the front desk manager, print me out a check-in list for my shift. who already has a reservation. It's almost all reservations. It's all reservations, of course. All right. Who's checking in? So that I could get familiar with the names and the approximate times, expected times of arrival of these people. Part of what I did. I didn't have to. Nobody told me. I made this up. I would see who's checking in. Just their names. Sometimes I recognize the name. Sometimes I recognize the name because it's a well-known name. Other times I recognize the name because the person's been there before. Mostly, though, it'd be new names. So why am I doing this? Why? Why would I do that? Huh? What do you think? Huh? Would you be a good doorman? Why would you do that if you were the doorman at the Ritz-Carlton? Why? I'll tell you why I did it. Well, the only good reason for a doorman to get the check-in list for his shift. All right, let's say there's Mr. Williams is suspected. I don't know Mr. Williams. I have no idea who Mr. Williams is. John Williams, right? A limousine pulls up in front of me. Another privately owned vehicle is pulling up behind it. Mr. Williams is in the limousine. But he doesn't know that the guy he used to have a meeting with up in his room is the car pulling in right behind him. Somebody's going to let out this other guy, right? Maybe it's a cab, all right? Maybe it's a cab. All right, here's the deal. As Mr. Williams' limousine is pulling up, I walk up to the passenger side window in the front. Driver puts the window down. I'm the doorman. I need to talk to the driver. I'm the one in charge here. The outside is mine. I represent the Ritz-Carlton image. I'm the first person a guest sees as they arrive. And I'm the last person they're going to see as they leave. And every time they come and go between check-in and check-out. If it's not me on shift at the time, it's going to be another doorman. The point is, the person in my position out there, I'm the only employee who works outdoors. I'm the first one, or whoever is the doorman at the time. The first person a guest sees when they check in. I'm going to be the last one they see when they check out. And in between times, anytime they come in and out, I'm going to be the person they interface with. Right? Every time they leave those premises or enter those premises, return to those premises, they deal with the doorman. All right. And I'm in charge. I keep on wanting people out. I get the people who should be in there in. I deal with it. I handle it. I handle the street situations. I handle all street people. I handle all the traffic in front of that hotel. Automobile traffic, foot traffic, anything. 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 I'm a street guy, and I'm 5-star at the same time. I have street smarts. I have high society smarts. I have every level of society smarts going on out there, and I do it all by treating everybody first, no matter how many people there are. I take care of what needs to be taken care of, and I do it with finesse. Okay. Sometimes I have to do things that are against the law. Sometimes I have to do things that are against hotel policy. My job is to make guests happy, and to make them feel like they're being treated right, like royalty. No complaints, only appreciation, and money in my hand. Every bit of it worth money. Every bit of it worth money to a guest. Even the way I say hello, the way I turn the revolving door when they're coming in or out. If there's nothing else for me to have to do right then for someone else, just turn the revolving door. Call them by name. Let's get back to the name. Why would I check the check-in list and get familiar with the names? So, Mr. Williams, John Williams, right, pulls up in his limousine. I say to the driver, pop the trunk. I'm in charge. He's not going to say no. He's not going to not do it. He's not going to hesitate. He's going to pop the trunk because this is my turf. And he might need to pick up somebody from there someday. He might be driving by when one of my guests, needs a limousine, and I wave him down. And if I see that it's him and he didn't comply last time when Mr. Williams was arriving and he was a little too slow popping the trunk for my liking, I'll just tell him, no, forget it. Keep going. He could miss out on a whole evening with one guest, one ride, one fare. Going to see cats, going to dinner, picking people up, dropping people off. A whole evening, he might miss out on a couple $100. So no, he does what I say. I'm the doorman. Okay. I say pop the trunk. He pops the trunk. I go back there as Mr. Williams is probably gathering together his overcoat, maybe picking up his briefcase, waiting for me to open his door. I flip up the trunk lid really fast. I see that, okay, there's only one hanging bag and one suitcase. I see that there's a name tag on the suitcase. I flip over the name tag. I read the name. Williams. All right. I remember that name from the check-in list. Good. All right. Good. This is Williams. Great. Good. I go and I open his door and I say, Mr. Williams, we've been expecting you. Welcome to the Ritz-Carlton. That is worth money. Now, the person he's supposed to be having a business meeting with is getting out of the cab. Like out there, like double parked, right? Not my domain. He's sitting over there by cabs and shit, okay? This guy gets out and walks over, and here's me calling Mr. Williams, Mr. Williams. And he's been watching the action. Mr. Williams must be a popular guy. Is this good for Mr. Williams' business interaction upstairs later? A half hour later? Yes, it is. That's worth money. Right there, I might have made $20. Just that. That shit is worth money. In a place like New York City, you better believe it. Now, is Mr. Williams filthy rich? Probably not. He's a business person. He's there on a business trip. Well, he might make $100,000 a year. He might make $150,000 a year. I made almost that, but I didn't pay taxes. I probably made as much as he did. Did this make him feel good? Yes, it did. Did this make him feel like he has arrived at the Ritz-Carlton on Central Park South in New York City? Yes, it did. And that's the way he would continue to get treated. Every time he did anything inside those doors or outside them on the property. That's just worth money.